Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. This episode is sponsored by Classic Cat and 8 Lab. I have a very special guest with me today. You guys might know him as Prison Babe, but his name is Jeremy Meeks, and he is an entertainer, actor, all the above. So glad to have you here.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To life, peace of mind, happiness, and prosperity.
Yes, I love that. We have been trying to make this happen for some time now.
Yes, absolutely. So, for the people that don't know your journey, tell us how you got to where you are today.
Wow. I don't even know where to start. Born in Washington State.
Shout out to Washington.
You know.
Where in Washington?
Born in Tacoma.
Tacoma, okay.
Yeah. And so, raised in Washington growing up, and then in 7th grade moved to California. And from Cali, once I moved out here to Cali, that's when all hell broke loose and started gangbanging and got into a lot of different situations.
Do you feel like it was like a culture shock to go from like Washington to Cali?
Oh, for sure. But, was forced to learn very fast about the neighborhoods and the colors and so I started gangbanging really early. Ended up in juvenile hall, ended up getting shot a couple times. From there to prison, spent a lot of years in prison. Almost 11, 10 and a half, almost 11. It was broken up in different, not straight.
Right.
But, I was, from my choices, I grew up in the system, from juvenile hall to the group homes, county jail, state prison, ended up in federal prison.
All in Cali, all here.
Yeah. While I had been extradited from, the U.S. Marshals extradited me from Washington State. I had got out of prison one time and ran and bounced around and ended up getting caught. And U.S. Marshals flew me back. And they bussed me in through Sacramento. Mm-hmm. And from Sacramento County Jail, they took me to Tracy DVI, which is the state prison. And I was only supposed to be there for 3 days on a layover until I hit my final destination, which was San Quentin State Prison. And while I was in Tracy State Prison on the layover, that's when I met my wife, well, ex-wife. She was my nurse.
In prison?
In prison, yeah. She passed out my medication. And we connected, and they came and got me and took me to San Quentin.
How did you guys get married while you were in prison?
Well, so after, in San Quentin, the mail system is 30 days behind. And so any piece of mail you get is 30 days old. And so I get a letter and it's like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm the nurse. If you have a woman, I mean no disrespect, and so we just correspond. And I get shipped to New Folsom State Prison, to level 4. And we kept corresponding, and she picked me up. And, we ended up getting married and having my first son, Jeremy Jr. He's 13 now.
Or he's not a baby no more.
No, yeah. But, we were married for 9 years. And then I caught this Fed case. I didn't know that, let me word this correctly. Yeah. So I did not know at the time that the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, Stockton Gang Task Force, number of the alphabets had been investigating us.
Your family? Or you?
Well, me and my homies.
Right, got you.
For alleged situations. And so when they arrested me, that's when I found out, because they pulled me over on my way to work with my little brother and one of our friends. And they took us back to my little brother's house, and that's when we saw the FBI jackets and the DEAs, and they're coming out of vans and Corvettes and all these undercover cars. Anyways, they take us all in. They kicked in 13 doors at once. Took all my little homies in. And that's when I find out, they found a gun in my trunk.
Which is automatically a felony.
Yes, and I'm already a felon.
You're already, right.
And so, they took us all in. And I remember standing there, and they're like, all right, stand forward. And I look forward. No, first I look sideways, and they take the side profile, and I turn my head, and I look forward, and they're like, sir, look here. And it hits me in that moment that I'm taking this mugshot, that I'm not going to be there to pick my son up from school. Also in that moment, it's like, how is he going to react when he finds out that I've just been arrested?
And this is when he was 13.
He was only 5 at this time.
No, he's 13 now.
Yeah, he's 13 now. He was 5 at this time. And so,
Ooh.
It was really rough because at this time I had never been away from him. You know, the 8.5 years I did in prison before I met his mom, there was no responsibility outside of yourself. Right. And so this just hit so different. Like, I was broken and I wasn't able to get on the phone and talk to him that whole night. And so I woke up in the morning. Really, to be honest, I never went to sleep. I had one of my homies in my cell, and we sat up all night because I was just so stressed thinking about the feds and how they get involved in my case and what's going on and I had no idea. And I woke up in the morning, I was laying there, and the police popped my door, and they're like, Meeks, Channel 12 wants to do an interview. Like, do you want to take it? And I opened the door and I'm like, what do you mean Channel 12 wants to do an interview? And he's like, I don't know. Do you want to do the interview or not? And I look back at my homie, I'm like, he's like, cuz, do it.
And you didn't know what the interview was based off of?
I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, all right, I'll do the interview. So like, all right, 10 minutes, we'll pop your door.
And you knew what you got arrested for.
I knew everything.
You knew everything after the fact that they arrested you.
Yeah.
Got you.
And so, damn, this is like,
taking it back.
And 10 minutes later, they pop the door, pow, and they come and get me, and they walk me up to the visiting. And I'm thinking it's gonna be the news. And it was one of my little homies. And he was like, nigga, you went viral. And I'm like, viral? Because at this time, I never had a social media.
Right.
I still never had a Facebook. Like, I've only had Instagram. And so I was like, I didn't know what that meant. And he's like, when I tell you you're on every media outlet across the world, my brain still didn't compute like how big of a scale. And so, I was like, all right, and visit ended. I get back to my cell, and as soon as I close the cell, they pop it again. And they're like, now it's the news. And so now,
so this is Channel 12.
So now it's Channel 12. So now I'm going into this knowing that I had went viral.
Okay, so the Channel 12 one, what did they interview you based? Like, what did they tell?
Well,
like,
first it was my homie.
About?
I thought it was going to be Channel 12, but first it was my homie. And so my homie broke the news.
Oh, to Channel 12.
Channel 12 was already coming because they already knew. The world already knew.
Got it.
But I'm sitting in jail and I don't know yet.
Got it.
And so
you were in the moment of
I'm
in
the
jail.
Yeah, like they still haven't turned on the TVs in our pod yet.
Oh wow!
And so I haven't seen the news.
Right.
And so now I'm going into this interview with Channel 12, and I know that to some capacity there's some buzz going on.
Right. And you didn't know what it was about. So in your head, were you thinking like, I'm going viral for the DA and all that, all them people coming in my house? And
again, no one
right.
I'm in the streets.
Right.
And so I don't know what's going on in the media and entertainment.
Right.
And so when someone says going viral,
like, what does that mean?
I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
And so then Channel 12 came in, and immediately I could tell they're trying to spin me. For one, they try to label me a kingpin. Well, not Channel 12. Really, it was the police department. And so when they named me the shot caller of the Cribs, I was like, are you for real? Then they said I'm a kingpin, and it's like, you guys, I was going to work. Like, I was working for $13 an hour. How you gonna label me a kingpin? And so the interview was like, tell us about the gangs and the guns. And I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna talk about none of that. If you want to talk about, positive things, then I'm with that. And so when the interview was over and they're breaking down the cameras, I'm thinking that they turned the recorder off, but really they're recording. And so they're like, so tell us about this. And so then I start talking because we're taking everything down.
Right.
And that's really all they used.
Oh, wow.
But that was one of the biggest blessings. In the moment, I had no idea. What a lot of people don't know also is that I still did 37 months in federal prison.
Wow, all of that was going on.
After the mugshot went viral.
Oh, wow.
And so I was in San Joaquin County for a couple months. Then I went federal and went to Sacramento County and fought that case. And to be honest, like, the judge was one of my biggest blessings. Judge Nunley. I had the only black judge in the Eastern District.
Oh, wow.
And like with the feds, they go off of your history. So they do a PSI, which is like a probation calculation of your past crimes, have you been in juvenile hall, did you gangbang, did you graduate, did you drop out? And it all gives you points. And so with those points, it calculates the months that they're recommending to the judge. And so from my PSI, I think it was like 67 to 76 or something like that. And
what is normally like a point system range from like 0 to what is the highest?
Well, at this time, I had no idea because I had only did state prison. Right. And so I'm used to the way that they calculate it for state prison, and now I'm dealing with the feds.
Right.
And their points calculate months. And so really they were trying to give me like 67 months. But the judge was like, no, like he has an opportunity that no one has ever had.
Right.
He's like, I want to make sure that he has a chance to take advantage of this opportunity, and he only sentenced me to 27 months.
Oh, wow.
Now.
And you were supposed to get 60 plus months.
That's what they were recommending.
Right.
So he sentenced me to 27 months. But also, he gave me 27 months, but from my affiliations and the way I conduct myself in the prison system, I ended up getting extra time. I got caught with a couple knives and some situations. So I ended up doing 37 months instead of 27. But when I got out, so when you're on federal parole, if you want to fly anywhere in the United States, your probation officer can allow you to do that. But if you want to leave the country, you have to set a court date. And you got to go in front of the judge to see if they'll let you out of the country. But my judge already signed over the papers. before I was even released. We didn't even have to request them.
Right.
As soon as I got out, all the paperwork was filled out that I could travel anywhere in the world, which made it really easy. And, it was just a huge blessing to be able to, for someone to actually really believe,
Absolutely.
because they say in the system, they say they want you to succeed. But if you succeed, if everyone succeeds, then they don't have no job.
Right.
There's no one to judge. There's no one to.
I feel like too, when people are in the system, they're more comfortable in the system because that's what they know.
Yeah.
And then you go back out of the system, and then there's no job opportunities for you, and there's not a better life for you out there than it would be in there. So it's like what people, I feel like, revert back to what they know.
And that was me. That was me for years. I was so institutionalized. I was in and out for 8 years. Until I met my ex-wife, who gave me some stability, which kept me out for years until I caught this case. But that time in the feds also saved my life because it gave me time to really sit back and think about the choices that I was going to make. What are you going to do? Are you going to take advantage, or are you going to fuck this up as soon as it, as fast as it came? You can really blow this whole opportunity.
Right.
And some really influential people did try to bail me out. And had they bailed me out, I would have ruined it. So it's been a ride.
It's been a journey, but you're in a beautiful place now in
very
your
blessed.
In your career, in your life. How was that transition after you got out?
Unreal. To be honest, growing up, I used to see people do things, and I thought, I could do that. See them on TV, I could do that. But never thought it possible. We just didn't have those kind of opportunities and chances.
Right.
And so now, I find myself in these situations where I realize I know I'm supposed to be there.
Right.
It feels good to find a passion.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy for me to say that I found a passion in theater. I started modeling first, but modeling was a stepping stone. And then I transitioned to acting. Big shout outs to Manny Haley and Jamal Hill, because Manny gave me my first opportunity acting.
Which was in what?
True to the Game.
True to the Game.
True to the Game 2, which is a crazy story. Okay, so when I got locked up, when I first went to prison, I went to adult prison probably reading at a 5th grade level, honestly. And when you can't read, then reading is not like a movie.
Right.
But once I got locked up, then I was forced to read, and I taught myself. I learned how to read reading the Terry Woods trilogies. True to the Game, The Dutch, The Angel.
So it was something that you already read, and then it just so happened that, in life, transpired into you being in the sequel.
One of my lowest points in my life. I'm in the SHU program in Old Corcoran State Prison, and this book is taking me out of here. It's taking me away, and to have it full circle, 18 years later. It's
when that moment came, what did you feel internally when that moment was presented to you to be a part of this movie?
It's so crazy. It gives me shivers just thinking about it, because God works. Oh, God works in such mysterious ways. I'm on set of True to the Game 3. And in one of the scenes, it's me, my cellmate from federal prison, my little brother, and our homie from the neighborhood.
In the movie?
In the same scene.
Oh, wow.
And all of us did prison time separately.
Wow.
All of us read this book at a different part of our life.
Wow.
And now, full circle, we're all in the same movie. And it's like, I have these moments that's like, just unreal. I wake up and I feel unbelievably blessed and highly favored.
Absolutely.
Last week, I'm praying, and like, I have so many blessings that I couldn't even think of them all. And that's
a
what
great
fucked me
place
up.
to be in. Absolutely.
And it's like, in that moment, I know that there's other things that I should be, but I just had so many popping up, and in that moment, I just broke down and cried because, you know, I remember sitting in that cell feeling like this was gonna be it forever.
Mm-hmm.
And God has just changed my whole life, which in turn changed my kid's life, which changed my...
everything around it.
And
Absolutely. No, it's a blessing. And I was just talking about this before you came, that like our path is already preordained. It's already meant to be what it is that it's going to be, not knowing what we think it's going to be, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like, because you went through so many, I guess, roadblocks in life, it didn't get you to your true purpose until now, you know? And it's like there's so many things that came in the way of getting to where you are now, and now it's like you're living in your in what your path is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like growing up, I used to hear people say, Jeremy, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be famous. And it's like, I'm out here. Like, what are you talking about? It's like,
right.
But then I'm sitting in federal prison and my face is on every media. I'm getting contracts.
And what were these contracts like? I mean, like when you were presented with them and, you know, they were like, hey, we want you on this, we want you on that. What was going through your mind knowing that, you know, you were prison bae, and like, what did you think when you like heard the name? Like, what were you thinking? Because that's almost like, you know, when you go viral, you usually know the moments you go viral, right? And, you know, whatever that may be. So what was like your train of thought when you heard the name, the title of what you went viral for?
It just was unreal. Like, for one, they gave me tons of monikers, like Prison Bae, the Hot Felon, the Blue-Eyed Bandit. But then I'm thinking, damn, I'm still gonna do all this time.
Right.
You know,
while everyone thinks outside of, this don't matter right now.
Out. Like, to be honest, a lot of people thought it was fake. And so I still meet people and they're like, damn, you're real. Like, you're really a person. And it's like,
right.
Of course I'm really a person.
Right. Or did anyone think you actually went to prison, or did they think it was like a photo shoot?
No, they thought it was a hoax. Like, a lot of people still to this day, they ask me like, was that real? Like, did you really go down, or did you guys orchestrate that? And it's like, no, I was in federal.
Right, like who would want to orchestrate?
Like, no, like I wish I would have, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it was life changing, you know. Being in the feds, for one, like, God placed the most incredible group of people around me. He surrounded me by nothing but OGs who had life. And they, every day, they walked me around the track and like was on my head about where my head was at and the choices and, you know, what I was gonna do and if I was gonna take advantage, and it's crazy that damn near the whole crew is out. You know, like, they let them out of prison. Yeah. When they had no date, they just came to themselves and like, let's go. Like, where am I going? To medical? And they're like, no, you're getting out.
So was people bailing them out, or like
No, it's just
how
the
that?
system. Like they've been down like 20 years, 26
Oh, wow.
years. Man, a couple of them thought that there was a mistake. You know, walking all the way to the front of the prison, thinking that they're going to turn around and say, "Sorry, wrong person."
Right.
But yeah,
But it gives like people hope that there is a life outside.
oh for sure. And that's another thing that I would love to touch on. Like from my childhood and my background, and now, you know, I'm always in the juvenile halls. And for everyone who's watching, like, please get involved. Please find a way to be a big brother or a big sister.
A mentor.
To, just these kids need mentors. They need positive influences. Like, we all get caught up in our life, and
Absolutely.
we all are so blessed. And it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, but if you go sit in one of those systems and you go to a group home, they have all female, if you go there, it'll break your heart. These kids feel so forgotten and unloved, and it's like, I just go there and like go to the park and we all play football and basketball,
right.
And like then I'll give my testimony, then we just chill, but
no, I'm so glad that you're doing that and just setting a positive impact on the community and just to better themselves, and just it's easy. It's easier said for me, but I feel like it's easier to be a nice person than a bad person, or just it's easier to smile, hug somebody, have a good day, than to be like, fuck you, get out of my fucking face. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just easy. Like I feel like it takes more energy to be negative than it is to be positive.
It does, and I think that's the thing. That's something that a lot of people don't realize. Like what you put out, you'll get back.
Oh yeah,
the energy, I go by and I just, I'll just say something nice to people randomly, and you just see their face light up, and it's like it doesn't change my day.
Right.
But people like look in the mirror every time they leave the house, like, yep, this is gonna work.
Right.
And so to give someone a compliment,
and it doesn't hurt you. Absolutely.
But you see their facial expression, and so people
need that, especially in the world that we live in and the trying times that we have, and COVID and everything that's going on. Like in the past few years, it's been insane.
Yeah,
it's been insane.
If anyone is looking for a charity or a nonprofit to get involved in, please look up Women of Substance, Men of Honor. And that's who I work with when going to the group homes and the juvenile halls. Last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year, I go up to the group homes and they bring a couple houses together, and some of the kids weren't allowed to come because they had gotten into a fist fight. And come to find out, they were fighting over some clothes, like they were sharing clothes, which really hit me because we all have something, so many clothes that we just give it. We have to recycle it, and so it's like
clothes you're getting for free, all of that.
Yeah, like they just send us boxes and boxes, and so it's like that made me think, like, who do I know who owns, who do I work with that has fashion, and so immediately I think about Rich, who owns Fashion Nova. And so I reach out to Rich and I explain the situation, and Rich was like, hell yeah, I'm in. And so we got all the kids. Mind you, these are tons and tons of kids in the system, but we got all their sizes. And,
that's amazing.
Rich came and sent boxes and boxes of clothes, and we went and passed it out. And,
that's amazing.
It's just the small things. We have, for everyone who's in the industry, we all have connections.
Absolutely.
We use them just for ourselves when they could be used to do, like, if you do so much other good with it,
Absolutely.
if you pass your blessings on, your blessings will come tenfold.
Absolutely.
So don't use your connections only for yourself. Like, bless other people.
110%. 110%. I completely agree with that. Relationships. Are you in a relationship? Are you single? Are you available? Are you married? Are you dating? Are you outside on the sidewalk? What are you doing?
So at the moment, I'm very homebody and very just focused on family and work and career. And so very single. But, was in an open poly type situation, which was working incredibly. But yeah, I'm just kind of focused on self right now and the kids.
I love that.
These kids need us.
Oh, 100. And it takes a village.
It takes a village.
I don't know about the poly village, but that's a whole nother conversation, but it definitely takes a village.
And my son, my oldest, is 13.
Mm-hmm. So what was his thoughts on that?
He's 13. He really doesn't he only saw and kind of found out about that through the reality show that I did on BET. But just raising him in general, like my youngest lives in Monaco. But my son, Jeremy Jr., he's right here. And so it's like,
it's a lot. What he'd be like, does he when
he's a little me.
Oh gosh.
And so it's like, no, so let me say, he's me 2.0. Like, he's the best version of me. He's never been in trouble. He's 13 and he's never been in trouble.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a blessing, yeah.
Never been in trouble in school, at home, like.
So what does he think of, first of all, does he know what you've been through? Like, does he look it up? And, because I feel like these kids nowadays, my daughter's 5 and I'm like, where am I going? And she's like, Telli Talks podcast. And I'm like, okay, don't watch it. Don't tune in. She's like, why, Mom? And I'm like, no. Don't tune in. You don't need to hear nothing that's going on over there.
He has never, I'd never sheltered him away from anything. And so even growing up, he's seen it all. And I don't say that proudly, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not for 1 second.
Right.
But for 13 years, the amount of life that he's lived, born and raised in Stockton, then, seen all kind of shootings and carnage and, put uncles and family members and my homies and people to rest, and then moved to Monte Carlo and went to the International School of Monaco and learned how to speak French and traveled the world. And
he's experienced a lot in his years.
Yeah, then moved back. You know what I'm saying? And so he's 13 going on 30. Which is just so crazy to see.
Yeah, I can't. My son just turned 17. So for me, it's like, whew, I got a 17-year-old. How is he gonna be? What happens when girls come around, and how am I gonna approach this? And so we got ages, kids.
Plus, it's a different time now.
Oh, completely. Different.
When I was growing up, it's much different than how they're growing up now.
Where it's I feel like when I was growing up, or when we were growing up, I never wanted to disappoint my parents. I always wanted to just be a good version of my I don't want to be a good version of myself and not disappoint my mom or my dad, and just like, I'm the eldest, so it's like we got this responsibility.
Yes.
I have a brother that's 7 years younger than me. I have twin sisters and then a little brother, so I'm like the eldest, and I got all this responsibility on me. If I don't make it, what are they gonna look up to?
Yeah.
So
my sister, who is the eldest, really, since we were born, she raised us.
right.
And so like my parents struggled, with addictions. And so like my father caught a life sentence for murder when I was 9 months old. Heroin addict, bully, all the shit. But my sister, like, raised us through all of the mayhem. And at 18, dipped. She's like,
this ain't my responsibility.
Yeah, no. She dips into the military.
Oh.
She went straight into the Air Force, went and did her basic training,
So
came
she's like,
back, and got us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, better life for you guys.
Came
that's
back,
dope.
met like 19 years old.
That's dope.
Like came and had that hard conversation with my mom, and like my mom understood, and she took us and legally adopted us, and
that's so dope.
And I still was a hellion.
You was like, No, but that's dope of her to do that, and that would be something I would definitely do. And like, again, it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a man. Yeah. Being a woman raising a man, that I just feel like that's hard within itself. So more power to your sister, and I'm sure she's proud of you now.
Yeah, like I don't know where my life would be, like, had God not placed the most incredible people in my life. From my siblings to my ex-wife to Chloe to, what I'm saying? Like, God has just literally, like,
here you go.
He's just like covered me.
That's amazing.
Even in my most darkest moments, I knew that I was protected, which is just an unbelievably incredible feeling.
Absolutely. That nobody can take away from you.
God is so good.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. Even when you don't think, or even when you don't feel, He's good all the time.
I keep having these moments that's like you are incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's been a journey that I'm very grateful for. It's like, it's literally, so like my father, like my grandfather went down for some violent shit. Then my father, then I was involved, and it's like
generational.
My father did 33 years straight in prison before they let him out. He just passed away last year.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I know you gotta say that, but yeah, he was something else. But this changed the mentality in order for me to be able to change that generational shift.
Absolutely.
With being incarcerated, with wealth, with, it just... And so, like, when I was saying that I heard my whole life that I was supposed to be famous, I didn't believe it, because I was so, like a racehorse in the streets. It didn't hit me until I was sitting in federal prison. Like, damn, I really was supposed to be famous this whole time. But God waited until I was mentally and spiritually
ready,
in the right place to take on this blessing and not blow it.
Absolutely.
And so
you're here, and it's amazing. And I'm so happy for you and all the things that you're doing and the growth that you had along the way. It's meant for you. It's always been meant for you. So
Yeah, it's like, and also I started doing theater. Okay, so I'm up on this stage, and there's like almost 3,000 people in the audience, and I'm up there being theatrical, and I'm just thinking, if the homies in prison or in my neighborhood could see me up here on stage being theatrical, it would trip them out because they only know me from
right.
And it's like,
Do you ever invite them like to be like, yo, come to I'm having this thing, I'm doing a play or a theater performance or like movie or whatever?
I do and I don't. Like in the beginning of my career, I really like messed up by not understanding that everyone's not ready.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
And I was bringing a lot of my homies to things and they just weren't ready to
Right.
be outside of the neighborhood acting like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I don't hold nothing against them.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it feels good to bring and show my homies something different.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's all that matters. You know, that change and that growth.
Yeah.
So for everybody that comes on, we play this game.
Okay.
It is called the world's cleanest dirty game. Okay, so we're describing words, and I'm gonna play with you so you're not in the hot seat by yourself. And we're gonna pick 3 cards each and describe those words that we both have to guess with whatever description's on the card. Does that make sense? Once you see the card, you'll kind of get what it. I'll let you pick first.
Okay, so I'm taking 1 or 3.
You could take 1 and we could pick throughout. You pick whatever, wherever. Okay. I'm gonna just go with the one on top. All right. You want to start or you want me to start?
Okay, so
You're reading everything that's in black to describe what's in red. But don't tell me what the card is in red.
oh, okay. All right. I sit on your face.
Okay.
Sometimes there's hair growing around me. You're happy when I come. You have to use your lips to do me. I'm stuck between your cheeks.
Mustache. Between your cheeks. Hair in your face. Stuck between your nose. Okay, read it again.
I sit on your face.
Okay.
Sometimes there's hair growing around me.
Lips. Teeth? What? I have no eyes? Smile? Oh, I'm like, wait, what are you doing? He's like, cheese. Oh my goodness. I was like, wait, mustache, hair, all I'm thinking is, yeah, like anything around your lips by your cheeks. Oh. Okay. All right. You have to pay someone to get on me. I could give you a Trojan. Without protection, you could catch something nasty from me. You're not happy when I go down on you. I allow you to have intercourse with strangers.
What? I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to say right now.
Okay. Best clues on here are
say it one more time.
you have to pay someone to get on me. That's a good clue. I could give you a Trojan. I don't know how that relates to what it actually
pay someone to get on me.
Mm-hmm. Without protection, you could catch something nasty from me. That's another good clue.
Without protection, you can catch something nasty.
I allow you to have intercourse with strangers. That's another good clue for this. You're not happy when I go down on you.
What?
Think not nasty.
Damn, what's the first one again?
You have to pay someone to get on me.
You have to pay someone to get on. Is it a train? A bus?
No.
If you ride, you have to wear protection to catch something nasty?
Yeah, without protection, you could catch something nasty from me.
Without protection. A bowl?
No. You want me to give it to you? I'm gonna give you another clue.
Okay, give me one more clue.
Think of something that you need to have an antivirus like on.
A mask?
No.
An antivirus on.
Yeah, like you need to have it so you don't get any bugs.
So you don't get any bugs. The vaccination? The shot?
No. The internet.
The internet?
Yes, you have to pay someone to get on the internet.
Yes.
I don't know about the Trojan thing. You could give you a Trojan.
Oh, that's okay, I get it.
And then without protection, you could catch something nasty, like a bug.
Yeah.
Antivirus.
Antivirus.
Yeah. You're not happy when I go down on you.
Oh, fuck.
I allow you to have intercourse with strangers. The internet.
That's the craziest
description, right?
Yeah. Can I get some more water, please?
All right. Your turn.
All right. All my holes are open to you. Your stick needs to be long and straight to play with me. Mm-hmm. If you haven't got the balls, you can't do me. You always rub your tip before you shoot. You don't want to scratch your balls.
What? Okay, one more time. Everything.
Okay. All my holes are open to you. Your stick needs to be long and straight to play with me. If you haven't got the balls, you can't do me. You usually rub your tip before you shoot. You don't want to scratch your balls.
Golf. Club. Am I close? Golf club.
No.
Something hockey. Something like with a stick and ball. I'm thinking a game or something.
Okay, so the clue? You don't want to scratch your balls.
Scratch. What game is scratch? Is that tennis? I don't know what scratch is.
You do.
It's golf.
Nope. Nope. But you know what it is.
Oh my gosh.
What other game can you?
Pool.
Yes.
Billiards.
The pool table.
Yes. I was like, wait, scratch.
You know. I was like, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Whew, that was hard. Ooh, this one's kind of... You might get this one.
Yeah?
All right. I come in waves. If I'm big enough, you'll feel me inside of you. It can sometimes hurt when I come in your ear. If I'm really big, the neighbors might complain. Hard banging can make me bigger. I come in waves is the best clue.
Music?
Close.
Sound waves. Sound. Vibrations.
Another word.
Frequencies.
Another word. You got it. You definitely, you're like right there. Hard banging can make me bigger. If I'm really big, the neighbors might complain.
The volume?
Close.
Loud music?
You definitely got it's noise.
Noise. Okay.
Noise. I'm like frequency waves. I'm like he's right there. He's right there.
I wasn't gonna get that.
Yeah, I was like noise. I mean, it comes in waves. I would have said sound.
Yeah.
For this sound, like you were there. You were there. You're definitely there.
I definitely was never gonna say noise. So appreciate that. All right, here we go. Okay. When I work on your hole, I start to come out of my pants. I get paid to play with my rod. I usually come in a truck. I do a little poking to clean out your pipes. If there's too much hair in your hole, I need a longer tool.
A plumber.
A plumber.
I usually come in the truck.
Yeah.
That's what it is in the long row. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
last one.
All right, here we go.
All right. I sit on a man's face. Hitler had a small one. Colonel Sanders had a big one. Women usually shave me off. If you trim me, you can make me look smaller.
Is it a mustache?
Yep.
Okay. I was going to say,
job.
if it's not a mustache, I didn't know what it was going to say. I was like, I don't know what it.
Good job. Tell everybody where they can find you, what you have coming up, all that good stuff.
Oh, wow. So, Jeremy Meeks Official on Instagram. So much coming up. It's hard for me to remember. A couple movies coming out. I have the theatrical play coming up. Her Lies, His Secrets. Also, finally telling my story.
Yeah.
My life story is coming out. My memoir in book format is coming out October 10th, which is so crazy.
That's gonna be
It makes
so
me
dope.
feel very vulnerable, but I'm excited. And so I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
And I feel like people need to hear it from your perspective and not what is written, what's perceived, what they want to say. It's your story, so you should tell it.
Yeah. It's time.
October 10th.
October 10th is time.
All right. Stay tuned for his book, his theatrical movies, his movies on screen, all that good stuff. Follow him at
J Meeks Official.
And that is it for Telli Talks.